cycle counts. Learning objectives, introduction to count books, perform inventory counting, complete count books. Maximo Mobile app, count books. The count books application allows you to schedule cycle counts and push those counts to the Maximo Mobile application. Watch our recorded NA's Maximo Lunch and Learn session on inventory counts here, where we discuss count books, physical counts, counts using the mobile app, and frequency and tolerances for inventory items. Create a new cycle count. Click plus to add a new cycle count. This cycle count will auto-number. Enter the fields in red below to start your cycle counts. Cycle count types. New with MAS 9.2, selection type, ABC type. You can now select ABC as a selection type when adding or updating count books in the Count Books application. Enter the selection criteria based on your selection type in the previous slide. In order to push the counts to the mobile app or the Count Books app, you will need to change the status to APPR or INPRG. The count book can be deleted up until it is in APPR status. Count Book Lines tab example. For this example, selection type bin is selected and O1B01A02 has been added in the selection bin field. You can see in the item summary that 30 items were selected. The count book was approved, the status is now APPR, and the count book main tab is read only. Count Book Lines. The Count Book Lines tab shows the 30 items belonging to bin 001B01A02. When you are ready to perform the physical count, you should enter the two fields in the Default Data for Count Book Lines section, Counted By and Counted Date and Time fields. Default data in Maximo only persists until you perform a save. The batch field is used with lotted items. The rotating serial number and asset columns are used with rotating assets. These fields are blank for consumable items, and the Is Tool field is also unchecked. Count Book Lines details. The first item is 1047, hose, metal flex, FWD bearings, and its current balance is 1.00. For this record, we won't perform a physical count. Perform physical count. For the second item, 1048, metal flex hose, a new physical count of 2.00 is entered, which is the same as the current balance. The counted by and count date were defaulted to the two default data values entered above. The two GL account fields were defaulted from the header record. On the right-hand column, match is now checked, and the accuracy is 100% as the new physical count is equal to the current balance. The match field is checked if accuracy falls within the organization default 5% tolerance. Count book in progress. Once you enter a physical count on one or more items and save the record, the count book status changes to INPRG, in progress, and you can no longer return to WAPPR, APPR, or CAN states. The only option is COMP status now, physical count audit trails. After saving the record, you will find that the inventory balances table in the inventory application has been updated with the new physical count and physical count date. You'll also find the transaction in inventory action. View inventory transactions. The Adjustments tab shows the recent transaction with transaction type PCOUNTADJ, physical count adjustment. Mismatching physical count and balance. For item 1065, clamp V, a physical count of 11 was recorded compared to the current balance of 10. This means the count is higher than the balance, and the accuracy field reflects this as 110.00, indicating an excess of about 10%. Since 10% exceeds the organization's threshold of 5%, the match field has not been checked. Counted by and counted date. Prior to recording a physical count of 11 for this item, earlier count entries were previously saved. Please note that the counted by and counted date fields now default to the logged in user and the present date and time, as both default data fields are blank. For the last item, a physical count of 3 was entered compared to a current balance of 4. This count falls significantly below the lower tolerance threshold, resulting in an accuracy rate of 75%. There are now 2 items outside the acceptable tolerance range, along with several items that have not yet been counted. The next step will involve utilizing the reconcile action and completing the count book process to address these discrepancies. Once you use the reconcile action from the left menu, the reconcile field becomes checked for count book lines that have been counted and meet the criteria. They match and fall within tolerance. Yet, in the inventory, view inventory. Transactions dialog, there are no RECBALADJ transactions. Inventory balance rec is reconciled, appearing for these items. These transactions will only be added after the count book status changes to complete, COMP. Count book item summary. The item summary on the main tab shows the number of items counted, matched, and reconciled. The accuracy percent indicates how many were within tolerance. Matched, 22, divided by how many of the items that have been counted, 24. Hence, the accuracy percent is 91.67. Change to complete status. Click the Change Status action and select Complete. Now the count book record is at status COMP, and the entire record is read-only including the count book lines. You won't find it in List View because it is now in History, and you will need to use the All Records query to allow you to see all records. Reconciliation Audit Trails. In the Inventory application, View Inventory Transactions dialog. There are now RECBALADJ transactions for each reconciled item. Count books on mobile. The mobile app can also be used to do cycle counts. You can only enter physical counts on the app. This will update the application in Maximo automatically when the data is transferred. Watch our recorded NA's Maximo Lunch and Learn session on inventory counts here for further instruction on performing counts on the mobile app.